Hi, everybody. This is Jason.
This is Pete.
And this is the Lost Legions podcast. And what are we talking to you about today, Pete?
We're going to talk about challenges and, all of the many changes by the looks of things to.
Are you threatening me? Was that a challenge?
I think it may be kind of.
Do you accept? Sure. Do you accept my challenge, or do you go to the back of the bus?
Back of the bus? Yeah. You want to fight? If not, get out of here, buddy.
You want to? Well, let's talk about fighting.
Interesting, isn't it?
Should we jump into the new article?
Yeah, so let's have a little look first. This dropped earlier today. We're going to go through this and read it and break it up and break it down in parts as we read it, because there's quite a lot of moving parts here, and a lot of it we don't know, because it's all brand new, of course. So we'll see. So
you want to tackle the first bit, and then we can swap off reading duties?
Sounds good, yeah. So the new challenge subphase. So we did get a new phase, not the return of the psychic phase, but the introduction to the challenge subphase. Makes these into the pivotal confrontations they should be. Broadly speaking, it works like this. So this is an extra step in the assault phase. In your turn, you may issue one challenge per combat as long as a character is involved. That's as it is now, right?
Yeah, I was going to say pause for a second. And then, I think this is pretty much the same. It's saying it's a new extra step, but like...
It's the first thing you do, isn't it?
It's still, I think it's still happening. Okay.
Your opponent then may accept, in which case they nominate a champion, or they may refuse. If they do, one of their heroes sheepishly steps back from the combat, and their cowardice is rewarded with a hefty penalty to their combat ability that turn. Again, pretty much as is so far.
Yeah, it sounds like well, sort of, because I'm not sure, again, like sergeants can do this.
No, I don't think they can.
Because they talk about heroes and champions.
Yeah.
So I think sergeants are gone. Like, I've seen nothing to confirm this, but I've seen nothing to say sergeants can do it.
So yeah, exactly. So this part here, right? Only models with the command or champion subtypes may issue and accept challenges. So I think because you alluded to this in a previous episode or two, that they're going to lose the character rule because they've gained sergeant as a rule type.
It looks like they're going to,
I think so, yeah. And it looks like command or champion. So you're going to have probably named characters. A lot of named characters I imagine will get the champion subtype, which would be cool.
I mean, unless somehow the sergeant rule gives you champion. I mean, we've run into things like that before, but it's really seeming to me like sergeants are not going to be able to fight, and it's going to be a legitimate character thing, an independent character thing, speaking how it is now.
To be fair, there is a callback a little bit to the sergeant rule just here. So champions are heroes whose main job is to take on these challenges, while command models, so maybe he's got the command type, models also bring other benefits to units, like helping them pass advanced characteristic checks, because you can always use the leadership of a sergeant, can't you? Or you can always use their advanced characteristics.
Yeah, that could be just a sergeant special rule, though. It could be a different. Yeah.
We don't know, right? We're guessing here, but it's fun to guess. If the active player declines to issue a challenge, their opponent may initiate a duel themselves via the heroic intervention reaction. So that's a new reaction. Ooh, I didn't clock that first time round.
Is this actually a reaction, or is this just? Are they saying it's the rule? Like a reaction like it is now? Like I use my assault phase reaction to basically heroic intervention and challenge you. Like I'm
sure
wondering
that's a reaction. Otherwise they would have just written rule, right?
Yeah. So you can't auto challenge people then if they are.
So you issuing the charge, you get to be quite. So painting a scenario, you might be like, right, I'm not gonna challenge here, and I know he definitely wants to challenge with his souped up Praetor, or whatever, but I really don't want my other unit to be shot at on that other combat I'm going to try and make when I run in. I can only know he's only got enough points to do one reaction left in the assault phase. It'd be something like that, maybe.
Yeah, you might be baiting out reactions. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think I read that before, and I kind of just in my head poo-pooed it, but I went over it with you right now, and I think you're actually right. I think it is actually a reaction.
Another thing to it, yeah. I like reactions.
I also really like this picture of the chaplain and the Praetor.
The Calf box, yeah.
Sick, I really like this picture.
Yeah. So once the challenge is accepted, the two combatants are then separated from the wider fight and face off. Do you want to take over on this bit, buddy? And I'm just
sure.
You take over the heart bit of all the new stuff?
Yeah, that's good. Thanks, Pete. Well, I guess I made you go first. But again, like this sounds like what we do now.
Very similar.
Starting with the active player, both players choose a gambit for their champion. There are plenty to choose from, representing ways in which your warrior might approach the coming throwdown. There are 9 universal gambits, which offer defensive and offensive boosts, as well as several that are unique to legions and characters. The Emperor's Children are excellent single combatants, but the World Eaters are more about carving up not only your immediate opponent, but anyone else foolishly standing nearby. Interesting.
So do you choose your gambit publicly? I imagine it's not a private thing.
I think so. We'll get onto it in the next little bit, but yeah, I think that that's how it works. I think you guys both go like 3, 2, 1 this, because one of these is I'll jump to the one that makes me think that it is gambits, public. Yeah. Well, okay, so the third one, Fent and Riposte. This gambit may only be selected by the player choosing the first gambit in a face-off step. Once selected, the player that selected this gambit may name any one other gambit, including the faction-specific gambit that the player does not have access to, and the opposing player may not select that gambit for this face-off. So it sounds like you really kind of just reveal them. My guess would be active player reveals first, and then opposing player, just because usually that's how this shit works. But like, yeah, it sounds like you... It sounds like you definitely reveal them to each other, because in this one, you have to reveal a Fent and Riposte first.
So maybe
because otherwise
maybe you have gambit cards and you place your gambit card down face down, and then you reveal.
I don't know.
Hey, comments, drop them. Let us know what you think. This is all up in the air at the minute.
I wouldn't put it past them, but I more probably think it's like you go, okay, what are you using, Pete? I'm using Flurry of Blows, and you go, what are you using? I'm using whatever. Like, I'm using Finishing Blow. And then you guys do it.
Finishing Blow. Sounds very dramatic.
It does.
They're all very dramatic. A flurry of blows, finishing blows. It's just constant blows.
Seize the blow.
Steal the blow.
Feint the blow.
Yeah, exactly.
Riposte the blow.
Yeah. The blows and the blow. Yep. Carry on.
We are children.
Yes.
Anyway, so speaking of it, so above, I thought it was interesting because I think the Emperor's Children are going to get a whole bunch of gambits, right? Like I could totally see them having cool gambits. They have like their own special champion model. Like it seems very appropriate.
Yeah.
And it also, what also this made me think of was Ferris and Fulgrim fighting, and like how you're like, oh, Ferris is just going to smash him, but like Fulgrim is a master duelist, so it makes it like, oh, maybe in a duel Fulgrim's more even. Like I don't know, I just kind of like in my head canon it actually really worked.
It's a potentially really Subphase. It's a potentially really good way to balance or make different characters feel better in certain aspects of the game, right? So one might just be a challenge beast, the other one might just be a unit mob masher.
We will see this in the immediate example after this, actually. So that's actually a really good point. Let's run through these core gambits, and then you and I talk about gambits for a second more, and then we can scroll on.
Sure.
Seize the initiative. If this gambit is selected, the controller player may roll an additional dice in the focus step, and then discard the dice with the lowest result before determining the total. So what it's going to go on to talk about here is that you're going to roll a dice, add your initiative, and add any bonuses, and that winner goes first, right? So this is to help you do that. Fury of Blows, I'm just going to paraphrase this one. Yeah. You basically get a D3 to your attack characteristics, but you have disadvantage, I believe, on your roll.
Your damage characteristic reduces.
No, your damage reduces. Yeah.
The damage is set to 1.
One may not be modified by any special rule. So this was interesting, including shred or critical hit. So shred's no longer a reroll.
Doesn't sound like it, right? And what's critical hit? Critical hit might be
I guess extra damage. It's gotta be extra damage.
A bit like how breaching 6 up or something would then be critical hit 6 up or something.
That makes sense to me though. Like you roll a critical hit and you get a bonus damage.
If you remember speaking about a month ago, it's like make brutal a qualifying roll. So that's quite cool. It has kind of become like that. Yeah.
Shred though, no idea. Like that makes me go, oh no, interesting. I've always loved Shred the way it works. So we'll see what Shred does now. So
we've gone through Fate and Repulse. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
I was just skipping over it. Finishing blow. If this gambit is selected, then the controlling player must roll an additional dice in the focus step and discard the dice with the highest result before determining the total of that focus roll. Sorry, this is the one I was thinking of, not the Fury of Blows. However, a model for which finishing blow gambit has been selected gains a bonus of +1 strength and damage characteristic to all of his hits inflicted in the strike step, which is really cool if you're fighting a Dreadnot.
Yeah. But you got a less chance of
you can't in a challenge. You're not gonna fight him.
Well, we don't know. If you're fighting, they might gain the champion special rule. Yeah, who knows?
If you're fighting a Marigold Dreadnought.
So that's cool. So that one means you're less likely to swing first, right? Because of this focus roll shenanigan. Okay.
But I guess, like, if the dude has a power fist and like you like really want to do damage to him, I don't know. It's interesting. I'll have to see all of these. I have to see them on the table. What I'm worried about.
That's 4 of the 9. I'm worried that there's 9 off the bat, to be honest.
But 9 plus each legion is going to have them. Plus special characters are going to have them. What I'm worried about is this taking a long time.
Yes.
And that is the only thing, which is why I think the challenges might just be restricted to characters, because then this is only going to take place on character fights.
Yes. Hopefully. And only one per combat as well, right? So,
but what do you think though? Like with that, let's just.
I think it's
just doodle on that for a second.
I kind of think. I think it's cool. I think it's very flavorful. They're really trying to lean into the storytelling element of it here, right?
Yeah.
They're really trying to make the challenge the pinnacle, the raised platform fight, as it is in all the books, to be fair, right?
Cinematic. Cinematic centerpiece.
Yeah. It's cool. It is going to slow down combat for sure, and combat can kind of be long-winded anyway. Yeah. But it's also where most of the fun happens, because you're both fighting at the same time. So it will slow the game down, but I don't think it's still gonna be fun, because you're both gonna be engaged doing it. I think it'll be fine, but
I just want to reach out to people and say I actually don't think it's gonna slow it down as much as we're fearing, because I think that I'm pretty sure that that sergeants aren't going to be able to do this. I really hope they can't, actually. And the combats where you have one independent character versus another independent character are not every combat, right? Like, so I don't think it's going to be happening as many times as you fear every combat round, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yes. And I guess, do you reckon this means wounds can't spill out? Wounds can spill out currently, or they can't? They changed.
They cannot. So,
but you can spill in.
Yeah. If there's nobody left to kill, your guys don't have to sit there and go, right? Yay! Yeah.
It's weird because it's something that I never thought really needed changing. It's like a nice to have thing. But I like all of the changes on the face of it. I'm more worried about trying to master all 9 things. Yeah. And I want to, if it is secret reveal, that's kind of fun. But it could be feels bad in certain I don't know.
I just can't see Games Workshop doing a 3-2-1 go like thing. I really think it's going to be the first player the active player reveals his gambit, and then the other player reveals his gambit. And then Fate and Riposte, if they've chosen your gambit, you have to reselect. would be my guess.
My concern if it's first player reveals, second player reveals. If it's not cards, then the second player can just in their head be like, okay, if it's flurry of blows, that's really hard to say. If it's flurry of blows, he's choosing, then I know I'm going to do finishing blow. Or if he does finishing blow, I know I'm going to do seize the initiative or whatever, right? So it needs to be cards, otherwise the second player has got 9 reactions. 8 core reactions that they can, 8 core gambits, that they can react with, or fight back with. I think it needs to be you've selected it and reveal it.
I'm gonna break your heart right now. I have the answer for you.
Oh, have we read on?
Starting with the active player, both players choose a gambit. It's scroll up just a little bit.
Oh, for God's sake. You can. We're going to rewind. We're going to edit this last 3-minute conversation out and just chuck it in the bin. We're obviously not going to do that. It's not
Remember, listen to me when it comes to rules, and listen to Pete when it comes to models.
Hey, rules is all I've got, buddy. So where is it? Where we see this?
What, the active player?
You got the active cat. Yeah,
the cat has jumped up on my lap again. It's above that. We can start here again.
Oh yeah, starting with the active player, both players choose a gambit. Yeah. But then, so Fate and Riposte. So this gambit may only be selected by the player choosing the first gambit in the face-off step. So the face-off step is where you say, I'm going to use this, and then the other guy goes, I'm going to use this. Yeah. Once selected, the player that selected this gambit may name any one other gambit. Stop your opposing player. Yeah, okay, you're right. It's literally, I choose this, what do you choose? So do you want to be challenging? Is there a bonus to challenging? To issuing a challenge?
It depends, right? It depends what weapon you have. It depends what character you have. It depends. Like,
yeah, so you have initiative modifiers.
Challenge.
Yeah, modifiers from Gambit, War.
Let's continue on, because I think you'll see what I mean. You want to take over?
The winner of the roll gets an extra attack and strikes first. So there is a number of reasons to go for it. Yeah, cool. Okie doke. It's quite cool that it says here if you're fighting in heavy armor, you have penalties as well. So those Saturnine Praetors will be struggling in challenges, that's for sure. Duelist's Edge. So some weapons are designed for use in personal challenges rather than the vulgar press of battle. Often light and perfectly balanced, they provide a key edge in duels and bouts of honor. So these are cool to see that child level weapons are going to be coming back for sure, because obviously they'll have Duelist's Edge, I hope. A weapon with the Duelist's Edge X special rule grants a bonus to focus rolls in challenges. Okay. So that's to see if you swing first, right? See who gets to have the initiative on the fight. In step 3 of the challenge subphase. This is a 3-step subphase, at least. Okay. The focus step. If a player has declared that the model under their control will use a weapon with the Duelist's Edge special rule, or has the Duelist's Edge special rule, then that player gains a bonus equal to the value of the X on the focus roll. Fine, didn't need to read all that. So certain weapons are better in challenges than others. Anything that increases your initiative is very useful, such as the Power Lance, while weapons with the Duelist's Edge special rule add the value of X to the roll. The Churnable Saber is a consummate dueling weapon. Here we go, offering an effective +2 to the roll. So you get +2 to your focus roll. Okay.
Churnable Saber's only +1. Oh, you know why? Because it's +1.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because it has a +1 initiative and a +1 Duelist's Edge. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's breaching 6 up, +2 in a challenge, kind of. Yeah, okay, and +1 regularly. Interesting. And then we got any questions there? Any points to make on the Churnable Saber?
No, I was going to continue because I know the next 2 things, so I was going to loop it all into one discussion.
The Black Sword of Sigismund is a prime example of exquisite artificer weaponry, boasting Duelist's Edge 2 alongside a profile to make any opponent worried. So he's going, +2 to his focus roll, right?
His focus roll is...
He's got no initiative modifier, even though the initiative modifier looks like a 1.
His initiative, which is probably 5, +2 for his Duelist's Edge. So he's rolling D6 +7, basically.
Yeah. And he gets critical hits. Yeah, okay. And then perhaps the standout dueling weapon in the game is the White Tiger Dao? Am I pronouncing it?
Dao.
Wielded by Jakatai Khan. This lightning blade increases his already impressive initiative to 9, higher even than Fulgrim. Ugh. And with
Old Pete that had Emperor's Children army is now very mad.
Yes. New
Pete doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Why fight in combat when you have bolter rounds? And with Duelist's Edge to boot, he is all but guaranteed to land the first blow.
So this is what I wanted. I was kind of holding my powder to have this discussion because if you look at him now, he's got initiative modifier 2, and Duelist Edge 1. So he's basically got a +3. Yeah. So he's got a 6 initiative then?
Yes.
No, he's got 7 initiative because it's not counting initiative of 9. So he's a 7 initiative +2 for his sword. Then Duelist Edge is +1. So basically, he's got a D6 +10. So the lowest he can roll is 7, which is still pretty good to see if he goes first.
Yes. I wonder what special rule impact brackets AM means.
I don't know. I was thinking that too. I have no idea. Impact attack modifiers.
Yeah, you're right entirely. Oh, so he reduces.
He reduces your attack by 1.
Probably.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seems probably.
Right? Yeah. Makes sense.
This is what I actually was kind of excited about these new weapon profiles because when they become readable at a glance, they might be easier than having special rule, like a whole bunch of special rules that you have to go look up.
Yes, if those special rules are limited, then they'll be fine. And it's nice. It seems like the weapons react more to each other now. Seems more like the rules stack against each other a bit more, right? Cool. And it goes on to say there's a fair amount of nuance here. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. All right. Lots of changes. What do you think, Jay?
So, like I said before, to sum up, I think that this is going to be less of a time sink than we fear, but I think it is going to slow down combats. So, but I think it might have the ability to be a lot of fun, especially with Primarchs and named characters and things like that. We'll see. But I mean, I'd be more worried about tournaments than home games for this kind of stuff.
Yep.
What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. I feel like it's going to be something that you can lean into if you really want to, or just kind of skirt around it if you're not too fussed.
Yeah.
Which is good. My concern is whenever they get excited about something, and they're clearly excited about their changes to challenges, they mentioned it quite a bit in the drop site preview as well, didn't they? Are we going to see, if Slay the Warlord, for example, is in as a secondary objective, are we going to see a lot more emphasis put on kill points for challenges? That's one thing that my brain goes a little bit I don't know if I want the game to just be, or a big part of the game to be focused on scoring kills and challenges.
I'm not so worried about that because I feel like a lot of the things that we play, TOs, will change because you and I go to, we used to, and we're starting to now go to a lot of events. So this last event we went to, there was no night fight. The TO had taken it out completely. So and a lot of times people will change, First Blood or whatever it was, to first round.
Yep.
Anybody gets a bonus point if they kill a unit in first round, and that I believe is a TO change.
I think my point I'm trying to make
it was definitely before.
I agree. You can obviously the event organisers can always change it. It's no drama, but maybe it'd be nice that they don't have to even consider doing that, right? I don't know. Maybe one mission out of the 6, if we get 6 or 5 as normal, is quite heavy on slaying the enemy warlord in a challenge. I think it's going to play a part. I just don't want it to be the game becomes challenges.
I definitely think you're right, though. I definitely think there's going to be a secondary that says like kill a warlord and challenge in one mission or something with these challenges. I honestly think that that's going to happen. But I mean, we'll see how much that impacts, how many missions that impacts, right?
Yeah.
But I do also like that, like we're seeing the Charnable Saber like have a bonus to initiative. I think that's really cool. The Duelist Edge like have a thing in challenges. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I like the difference between now you're gonna have a reason to want to take a power sword versus a thunderhammer, right? Like it's not just damage, especially because some of these gambits you add damage, right? So there are multiple reasons now that your lord with a sword is not going to suck.
There's so many different layers to weapons, right? Which is kind of cool. And like certain legions will be better off with certain weapons in certain scenarios, and yeah. But like very much more drastically, rather than just like, oh, I'm +1 initiative on the charge, so I will take this weapon always. It's far more nuanced. Yeah. So yeah, overall, I like it. I don't want it to be too long-winded, and I don't want it to be a huge focal point on the missions. That's my only 2 main concerns. But
okay,
yeah,
cool. I'm worried it's going to slow us down a little bit, but I'm hopeful that it will not be as impactful as we fear. And I'm also hopeful, just like reactions felt like they slowed everything down to a crawl. But near the end of 2.0 now, reactions are actually really quick. Everyone's gotten used to them. But I remember when you were holding your events, like at the Village Hall thing.
Yeah,
like it was the beginning of 2.0, and everyone was super slow.
just
and now,
new, isn't it? That's why.
Yeah. And now, like we're way faster with reactions. So yes, I mean, we'll see what happens. But
yeah, I imagine they'll do a little segment like this on reactions. If not Friday, maybe next week. I think they're going to do one, right? Because they've mentioned about reactions in the other videos and saying that they want to touch on it. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. The next ones, if we already know what the next little community article is going to be, don't we?
Yeah,
is it Force Organization chart?
Yeah. Oh, I think
we'll be back tomorrow
with
lore of the Horus Heresy, while we'll touch on the Force Organization chart, which is still very much with us, on Wednesday, and vehicle rules on Friday. There we go. So there's the schedule for our channel for the rest of the week. So,
all of the Grognords rejoiced when they heard that the Force Organization chart's still there.
Yeah, and hopefully vehicle rules still have some form of armor facings.
Yes.
Fingers crossed, yeah. Anyway.
Well, it's an exciting week. Look forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.
Bye.